welcome to Friendship and Joy with me, Carin, and today I have Hillary here.
Hello.
Hillary is our son's girlfriend, and they recently moved back from Vancouver, so now they're living with us. Yay, I got it. And not only is she beautiful, but she also knits and crochets, so I'm very pleased. I told my son, she's a keeper. As soon as I heard she was knitting and crocheting, she's a keeper. We're also here at my cottage today. This is where I've been hanging out all summer. In beautiful It's also not far from where the little Red Mitten yarn store is located. So if I ever run out of yarn, I'm not far away from the yarn store. Yeah. So I've been hanging out here at the cottage pretty much all summer, staying away from people, but getting a lot of knitting in. So this cardigan was my latest creation, and this cardigan is called the Floozy Cardigan. Again, I don't remember who designed it, but the pattern is called the Floozy Cardigan, and it was knitted in a very lightweight soft wool. The yarn is actually from Little Red Mitten. It's their own brand that's called Leo and Roxy, and it was a really fun and easy knit because the pattern here is not feral. It is done with the Mosaic technique, and I can show you how to do that. It's very, very easy. All you do is lift over a couple of stitches and then knit two and lift over two and knit two. It's a nice and easy technique that you can easily do back and forth. As you know, I absolutely despise knitting feral on the purl side, so this was a good option for me to make a cardigan out of. Hillary, what are you knitting?
Yeah, I'm actually crocheting right now. Yeah, so I'm crocheting, it's called the Sawgrass Sweater by Stitch and Hound. This is the first front panel. It looks a little bit to be diagonal, but I'm confident that once it's blocked, it'll come out. Oh,
it will definitely. It'll stretch, it will block nicely.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful pattern.
So nice.
Yeah, I love it. And the yarn that I used is a cotton yarn from Knit-O-Matic in Toronto, which is a great little store. They actually even sent me an email after I visited them, thanking me for coming in and checking in to make sure the project was going well. So I thought that was wonderful customer service.
I think that's sweet.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Yeah. So
Make sure it was a good fit.
Yeah, exactly. Because she helped me out quite a bit. But yeah, I love it.
I love the pattern.
Yeah, this is it.
I want to make one too.
Yeah.
And I love this kind of earth tone color, and and the cotton yarn is so nice for summer.
And it almost looks shiny, the color.
Yeah, it has a sheen
like a
to
metallic color.
Absolutely beautiful.
I love it.
So will you do it long sleeve, 3/4 length?
It'll be about the length of this one.
Oh, okay.
Here. Yeah, so it'll be just like this, which is nice for the fall and the spring. So I'm looking forward to it being done hopefully in time for September.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh no, it'll be done long before then.
Yeah.
Who are you kidding? So this Floozy cardigan was a lot of fun to knit. So of course I've already cast on for another one, and I'll see if you can show it more in fall colors this time. And I was thinking I was gonna make this one with long sleeves and a shorter body. So yeah, I can highly recommend this Mosaic knit, and I think in an episode coming up I'm gonna go through that technique because it is a lot easier. You only knit, you have different colors obviously, but you only knit back and forth with one color at a time, and then you switch color. So it's not as tricky as feral. So if you want to do something that resembles feral but in an easier way, I can highly recommend Mosaic knitting. Speaking of Mosaic knitting, in a completely different look, I want to show you this shawl. I posted this on Instagram, but I made this one in the beginning of the summer, and we were out here and it was very, very cold. but this is the Nightshiftshawl that is also done in the Mosaic style knitting. It's a little different because you kind of knit on both sides, but it's a beautiful effect. And this is knitted, I'm gonna bring this up close so you can actually see how beautiful the color variation turns out in this Nightshiftshawl. I absolutely love this one so much. I've knitted 2 of them. I fell in love with it so much that I immediately went out and I bought new yarn, and then I gifted that one to my sister-in-law's mother. But this yarn is the Noro Ito yarn. It's a very thick, beautiful, thick, rich wool.
Okay.
So it's a very warm shawl that's lovely to drape over your shoulders like this, you know, on a cold night. And you sit out here on the porch and it gets a little windy and you like nice and cozy.
Yeah.
So
I think I've used that wool actually for a blanket and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice and thick.
Yeah, it's very thick.
Yeah.
This yarn is a little pricey, but you get a big ball of yarn. It's already wound, which is also nice. But it is, I think it's like 400 yards or something. I mean, it's a lot. No, I don't know if it's that much. It's a big ball of yarn. So for this particular shawl, it took 2 balls of yarn because you want the 2 colors. So it's 2 different self-color variations, and they have so many different color variations. So that's another lovely yarn, Noro Ito.
Blanket that I made, I actually gifted to my niece out of the Noro Ito.
Yeah, so that was done with Noro Ito. Do you remember the pattern of that blanket?
It was a very simple, I could even like recreate it on, I just remember it was like chain 6.
Oh, so it was a crochet.
And then, yeah, it was a crochet. Yeah, I didn't knit it. But yeah, there was one knitted blanket I could get a photo of that it was like in a fairly chunky yarn, which is, I'm actually surprised to hear because a lot of the complaints that I've heard about chunky yarn is that it pills, after, like if it's not wound. Oh. It was a chunky unwound wool.
Oh, okay.
And my sister has had this blanket that I knitted for her about 4 years now, and there's no pills on it.
Okay, so that's good yarn then.
Yeah, it's really good yarn. I forget the name of it though. I got it in Halifax.
Oh yeah? Did they have good yarn stores in Halifax?
They did.
Hillary and her son Alexander, they met at university at Dalhousie, so they lived in Halifax for 5 years maybe?
Yeah, 5 years we lived in Halifax.
Yeah.
And then we lived in St. John, New Brunswick. And then Vancouver.
Yeah, and now back home.
Toronto.
And now back in Ontario.
Yeah, little travelers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Halifax had a wonderful yarn store. I forget the name of it. I'll have to look it up and I'll send you a photo of it. But they had a cafe as a part of it. So there was a cafe when you first walk in, and then you go into the yarn store, and it was big and open and like a historic building. So there was exposed brick. It was beautiful.
So people would come in, bring their yarn, and then sit down and have coffee, and so it's a knit cafe.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and
I like I like that idea.
They had the exposed brick too, which was really cool. And with the exposed brick, I was sitting there drinking a coffee and knitting, and all I saw was little pieces of paper inside some of the in between 2 brick stones. Yeah. So I pulled it out, and there was notes from people from all over the world that had traveled to that spot
to knit and
sit. And it was like little notes saying like my travels have been so lonely, but this has given me so much joy. And
see here again, like knitting brings people together, brings people joy. It's like a lifestyle. I don't know. I my philosophy is that knitters are happier people.
Yes. No, it's true.
No, but so now I kind of want to go to Halifax just to. Well, we have to look up the name of that yarn store.
Yeah, I think they moved.
Oh,
which is unfortunate because I don't think they have a part of the cafe anymore. But
maybe we'll do a field trip.
Oh,
da da da.
We could do like
field trip.
Cross-country trip of
oh my god, yeah, Suzanne and I have already done a few in Ontario, but maybe we need to expand our horizon and go to other stores. We were supposed to go to a yarn store in Florida, but obviously COVID put an end to that. Very, very sad. But Yeah, I can't wait for things to... People say now that things are never going to go back to normal. This is the new normal.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that.
I don't believe it either. I would rather keep a positive mentality and...
I want things to go back to normal, but maybe with some improvement implemented.
Yes.
Obviously, there needs to be some improvements put in place. But I don't want to stop. I miss my friends. I miss everybody. I want to be able to go and visit people freely.
Yeah.
I want to be able to go back home to Sweden to see my mom and dad, and I was planning on going home to Sweden in September, and of course I had to cancel that trip now. It's very sad.
Yeah.
You know, like I hate this. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to be crusty about it? Stupid COVID. I hate it. I'm actually mad. I don't want this. I want to be able to go freely and visit people. That's the worst part, not being able to see.
Yeah.
And I mean, Suzanne and I obviously haven't been able to get together as frequently as we would have.
Yeah.
And it sucks. But anyways, rant over.
I do have to say the one positive of COVID is people actually respecting your personal space. I think
True.
I like that.
True.
I want that to stay.
You don't want to hug people hello?
No, I like hugging people that I know, but in grocery stores, I mean, where people are kind of shuffling around you and not getting into your
personal
zone.
space, yeah.
I like that.
So, what else have I knitted this summer? I made a sweater for my sister. It's a beautiful pink sweater. I can put a picture of that here. The pattern is called Emily. It's a free pattern. It's a download from Garnstudion, which I don't know what you even call it in English, but it's called Garnstudion. Garn Studio, you know. And it was a drops design yarn, I believe, in a boucle drops design. I have made, over the years, I have made many little shawls and blankets that's just laying around, because ever so often the evening gets cold. So I can show you this one. Here's a variation of we've talked about this blanket to death, but this is my variation of the grandma square blanket that we have done, Susanna and I have done tutorials on. And I made this one with the white yarn as a attachment yarn, and it's still the self-coloring Drops Delight in different color, but it's a big one.
Yeah, I'll help.
Yeah, it's a big blanket that's basically laying here. It's nice to drape over you on a cool evening, or if you just want to take a little nap, an afternoon nap on the swing sofa, then you can drape this over you. It's kind of nice because the amount of holes in the grandma shawl is not too hot, so it's still airy and breathable. So that's a nice one. And speaking of Noro yarn, here's another shawl that I knitted many years ago in a Noro yarn, but in a much thinner one. I think this was actually Noro. I think it was Sport. Oh. So long ago, I can't remember. But it's just a triangular shawl with a lace border, which can't even remember the name of the pattern for the shawl because it's so old. But Noro is known for their beautiful self-coloration, and you just keep on knitting and the colors changes. So they do a lot of interesting color combinations, I find. That is it for today. Stay safe out there. Happy knitting, and until next time, bye. Okay. And I forget where we were. Jay, or she's the keeper. And we don't have to keep that in. I can cut it out. That's okay. God, it's hot. Okay. But I want to show it off. The beautiful Japanese yarn. And yeah, what else?
I've got nothing else.
Nothing else. Ooh, everything I say. Ooh, and ah.